All right, so this is my first impression of Phnom Penh in Cambodia. I just got back. There's a lot of scam sites for this e-visa, which as an American cost me $36 with the credit card. But make sure you go to evisa.gov.kh. And you can also do visa on arrival. You just write some paper thing, but I don't know if you save a few dollars or if it's the same price. But I just had to print one of these, not more. They didn't ask any bribes going or coming to Cambodia through Phnom Penh airport, which was nice because I was worried about that. And my first impression of Cambodia is that it's a lot like Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. Super similar. When I went there, it was really hot, humid, a bunch of traffic, like Vietnam. Crossing the street was always stressful and difficult. There were some intersections with no stoplights or stop signs, which was kind of funny. Um, the prices in Cambodia of food, like at the supermarkets, are more expensive than Thailand. And that's weird because I thought Cambodia was like a poorer country. If you just buy like fruits and vegetables at these like markets, maybe that's cheaper. But products like at 7-Eleven and the grocery stores are more expensive than Thailand. Um, and one thing is I had like some very bad experiences like with getting a massage. They weren't real massage places, and they were like lying and scamming. Um, I stayed near a lot of these like bars for girls that I don't really like. And in Cambodia, I just stayed in Phnom Penh for 4 days. Um, but it's just my first impression. I wasn't there for a couple months or anything. And I know a lot of people are like traveling around a lot and having these great travel experiences. Um, but my first impression in Phnom Penh is it's super similar to Thailand. Things are more expensive. I didn't find there was much to do there. It was difficult because I didn't really know anyone there, and I just thought, man, I thought, man, I don't really like Phnom Penh. Um, I mean, maybe that's kind of unfair, but um, like I met this guy, and he was at a restaurant. There was a sign that said room available because I was looking for a hotel room. And then when I got in, he said, well, actually, there's not a room available. But he called his friend, and his friend wanted $15 for a night at the hotel. But then I found another hotel that was only $10 per night. But I bumped into the same guy, and he invited me to the mosque, and we talked about like Muslim religion, and um, there were some parts about the Muslim religion that like I thought were really, really bad, I guess. But he was friendly, and he invited me for a tour of Phnom Penh on the motorcycle. And he said it would just be $10, but then he asked me for 15. And when I took a bicycle, they have the seat in the front and they ride the bicycle to the airport. He said it would just be $5, but then he also asked me for more money. And I felt like this common theme in Cambodia is just like everybody's always asking for more money. And I talked to a guy there who owned, a couple of hotels, and he said sometimes that they try to ask foreigners for more money, but I guess isn't that bad. But they do that in Thailand too, so it's not really like that different. But um, I also felt like Cambodia was a bit like Phnom Penh, I mean, was a bit like a ghost town. Like they're building all these buildings, but the construction doesn't seem to be moving that fast, and it's just kind of like deserted. And I got this feeling that there's more income inequality, like just a few really rich people and a whole bunch of like less rich people. It didn't seem like quite as developed as Thailand. And the weird thing about the first impression when you go to a new place is after like a day or two, when you have your first impression, it just like sinks in and becomes permanent. And I think very few things can actually change it. So whether it's good or bad or just so so, once that happens, I think not much will change it. You'll just keep thinking like that, maybe forever. And so, yeah, my first impression of Phnom Penh, it's just like, it's kind of boring, not much to do, not as good as Thailand. I met this Thai girl at the airport, and she let me share the tuk tuk with her. And she kind of agreed that it was like super hot, but just kind of not as good as Thailand. And she didn't say why, but she didn't feel as safe. For me, I felt safe in Phnom Penh. I didn't have any problems. I was really careful, with my phone because they can snatch the phone from you. So I always held it with two hands. Tried to be careful with my backpack, like wrapping this handle around my arm or foot, because I read a story someone snatched the backpack. Yeah, Cambodian people seem to be pretty friendly. I didn't really meet that many of them, just 4 days. I also didn't really try the food much because I was worried about, not finding vegetarian food. Um, I um, I did have an experience where I bought some oranges that were mostly bad, and I went to return them, and they gave me a lot of trouble. But they did do like an even exchange, which was nice because I didn't think they would accept any returns or exchanges. But they did, which was nice. Um, One thing about the massages is I don't know if they have like any real massages in Cambodia. I was worried that they were all like special services, and that means like you're gonna get like a really bad massage for like 5 minutes, and they're gonna ask you for a special service, and if you don't want it, they're probably just gonna be like, okay, we're done, but they still want the full price of like the 1 hour legitimate massage. So it's basically like a liar scammer massage shop. So after that happened to me like 2 times, I know it was kind of in the tourist area with the bars and stuff, so it was in the wrong area. But I just thought, well, I don't know, because I could try the massage in this other normal area, but I just was worried that it would be like the same thing. So I think it's important if you know a Cambodian local person who can like tell you where is like a real massage place. But the prices of massage I found were like more expensive than Bangkok. And so I was like, well, why should I pay more in Cambodia if I'm just coming back to Bangkok in 4 days? Um, so yeah, that's kind of about it. I did get like a 30-day visa for $36. Um, and yeah, I guess if you're looking to travel around Cambodia a lot, but just like staying in Phnom Penh, I didn't have like a great experience. I think Thailand is like it's much better. It's like cheaper prices. There's a lot more things to do here. Bangkok seems like more like developed, more vibrant, like more stuff to do. I noticed a couple of things. I noticed they didn't have any buses. I just saw like one or two buses. They have all these tuk-tuks everywhere. Um, and so that was weird. I don't think there was like any subway either in Phnom Penh because I didn't see any. Um, and so that's kind of a bummer for people living there, that not having a subway, not having like buses, and they always have to take tuk-tuks. There were a lot of tuk-tuks. but I'm just imagining that the bus would be like cheaper, but I don't know really how much the tuk-tuks cost. There was a bunch of street food everywhere, like Bangkok and Laos and Vietnam. Tons of street food, tons of people out on the street, lots of little businesses. Um, and they have like lots of the same businesses too, which I've noticed in Asia and Turkey a lot. Like there'll be like a corner and you'll think like, well, one pharmacy would be enough, but they'll have like 10 or 15 pharmacies all next to each other. Or someone will be selling like a tailor shop selling clothes or pillows or helmets. And instead of like one or two, there'll be like 10 shops selling the same thing right next to each other. And like you don't know, is it the same owner? Are they the same price? But it's like really strange for me. And just lots of the normal businesses, lots of like haircut shops and restaurants and selling fruit, fixing motorcycles, dentist clinics, salons, uh, lots of just like the same businesses again and again and again, like repeat, repeat, repeat. There was like a fruit market, um, KTV, which is like a karaoke club, um, and yeah, so that's just my first impression. I did see some police with this guy on a motorcycle, and the police were telling him like go over there, and then one police like snatched the key out of his motorcycle, and I saw the look on the police's face. He seemed like this really like mean like gangster, like really bad, and I haven't seen that in Bangkok. I mean, one time I saw someone getting arrested, but the police seemed like normal. And I've only been in Phnom Penh 4 days, but I was reading some stories about how police want bribes from you. And I didn't have any like run ins with the police, but from what I read and what I saw, I was like really worried about the police in Cambodia. So maybe they don't bother tourists as much, or I don't know, but just from the 4 days that I was there, like just hopefully you don't have any dealings with the police because they might want bribes and they might be like bad, but I don't worry about that in Thailand. I actually never had a police bother me and ask me for a bribe, and I've been in Thailand a long time, like over 2 years. So that's a big deal because I just don't like having to worry about that stuff. um So yeah, that's kind of my first impression of Phnom Penh. I was kind of thinking that I didn't really like it. I wouldn't really want to go back to Phnom Penh. And like I know Cambodia's got some pretty stuff and like the Angkor Wat temples, but I was also thinking that maybe I don't really want to go back to Cambodia either, like ever again, based on this trip. So maybe that's kind of strong. Maybe I should give them a second chance. But that was kind of my first feeling. Like, I've been to Laos a couple times. I didn't have these issues in Laos. And Vietnam also, I didn't have these issues. I mean, it was hectic in Vietnam. Crossing the street was hard. And also, I'm not sure that Vietnam has that many massage places. But that's it. That's my first impression of Phnom Penh in Cambodia. And if you have any questions, just pop them down in there, and I can try to answer. But I've only been there for 4 days. But if you have any questions or whatever.